Welcome to the Dude Network, where we chill and unwind. Food, sports, entertainment, the best of its kind. Grab your buddies, have a seat, let's have a good time. 4 nights a week, we'll make sure you feel just fine. Join us as we dive into the coolest trends. Dude Network, where the fun never ends. Dude Network, where the fun never ends. Hanging out with the dudes and dudettes. Talking about the things we love, no regrets. Tune in, relax, and let the good vibe flow. The Dude Network, the place to go.
Boom! Let's roll. Let's go. Exciting one. Even though I feel kind of bad about drinking beer tonight because not all parties are of the age to do such things. But we're going to do it anyway. It's America. I can do what I want. But anyway, what's up, everybody? I'm Tony of the Dude Network, and I'm drinking my delicious ice-cold garage beer. And so is Damon after my recent trip to South Carolina last week. But I'm back in Ohio, and we got everybody's just back to normal tonight. No live shows, no random destinations. Everything's just right back to normal. And we got an absolute banger here for you tonight. But as always, I'm not alone in this quest to awesomeness. There we go. First, out of the California, the California that's been born again, in the poncho wearing, sorcerman, slurping, tower climbing, pepper year-round growing, garden mastermind extraordinaire, and our COO, that means our chief operator of operations, and we are working on a banger project on the side, Johnsy.
Holy cow, I didn't even know I was all those things.
Yeah, you did.
I don't have that many fingers. What's up, everybody?
I was honestly, I was on the last toe, and I'm like, I got to wrap this up. Because now that I'm back home, I can just barefoot it, you know?
How you doing, buddy? How are we doing? I'm happy it's Friday.
You know, it was a tough day in the Lane house, but I was home all day with the family, and that part was cool. So silver lining. And I didn't cook dinner. Took everybody out for the old dive bar dinner over at the old DK's. You know,
ooh, shout out
fish dinner. 3-piece of cod, fries, coleslaw, $9. Boom.
Hate to hear it.
Hate to hear it. $2 beers. $2 beers.
Oh, yeah. Oh God. Yeah. What a terrible place.
And I hate to say it, they're 16-ounce beers too.
Man, I sure hope that a whole bunch of people don't go there and support that place. I wouldn't want that to be around forever.
You know, I need to do a video there.
Wouldn't want that place to be around forever.
They make good wings, but not as good as this next guy. You know why?
You do.
You know why, Johnsy? Because he's the three-time, soon to be four-time people's champion of smoke fried wings and putting beans in your chili. The chili cook-off extraordinaire, our executive vice president of productions, straight out of the 843, the miner of Carolina Gold, and the innovator of the downtown funky brown sauce that was so good on my food last weekend. Straight out of the 843, Damon.
It's so bad. I have to make some more because they eat so much of it.
That was Wally effect.
Can we just say that Tony and I have officially renamed it Downtown Funky?
We talked about that last weekend.
I think that will stick. The only problem is all my stickers are downtown calls right now. So
right, and I started calling Downtown Brown just for fun, and then Tony came in with the Funkalicious edition.
Yeah. I told him last week. I didn't even give an ultimate. I was like, "How does it feel that we just completely renamed your sauce and didn't even let you do it?" And we're just, it was like one of them 10 garage beers. I was just sitting there in the kitchen and we were just sitting there talking, and it was like kind of got quiet, and I was like, "Yes, how does it feel to lose the naming rights of your own sauce, man?" I'm like, "Because it's Downtown Funky Brown sauce, right?" And he goes, "You know what?" He goes, "I kind of like it." I was like, "Oh, thank God," because I wasn't changing.
Right, like we already.
You can name it whatever, but I will never call it the name you want to call it. So I'm so glad that you just.
We already copyrighted it and registered it.
Yeah.
And all that, so
probably didn't do that.
No, I need to.
Thought about it.
That's twice I've exaggerated for
probably
fun.
Should. Yeah, we should.
So. Anyway, hey,
Hey, what's Friday, boys?
Good evening, Terry White.
Yeah, let's do a
Adventures
comment recap. Happy Friday.
T.
Hey, T-Car man.
Hey,
what's up?
that really means a lot to me. It really does.
John
It
put some.
It needs a re-edit, but I really, really appreciate that.
Good
Daddy
evening,
Dutch,
Dutch.
what's up,
Good
buddy?
evening. Robert Race, what's up? How we doing?
All thumbs.
Wait, hold. Just because this weirdo's back again, he always has something decent to say.
Yeah.
He does, but
You need to
on
put that
it.
comment in the chat on here so it goes out to all the platforms.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sounds like
I'm
that
just
weirdo's
saying,
gonna work on it now.
Work smarter, not harder. That's the Dude Network way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we love shortcuts. We love the shortcuts, especially when you turn left. Pun intended.
I was gonna say, shortcuts or long cuts.
I just realized the irony of this show tonight because we booked it well in advance. And then, like last week, I drove by Darlington Speedway and Rockingham on the way. The way it took me back there when I saw Rockingham, I went through Rockingham.
Dang, you've seen a legend.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was driving through. It wasn't quite daylight, so I didn't see the stadium, but I saw the signs like "Go here to the."
Oh, I got you. I was gonna say that's
I was
that's
in
a legend track right there.
That's a small town, man. It's smaller than Darlington.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Now, do they still have events there, NASCAR?
That's what I'm saying. That's a legend of a track. No, they tried. They tried.
Darlington lost it for a little bit, then they brought it back.
No, they lost one. They did have two. They lost one, and now they brought both of them back now.
And Rockingham's got nothing.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't start pulling it back because they're starting to bring a lot of these tracks back.
Yeah, well, the attendance was, I don't know. We'll get into all that.
Mm-hmm.
We're acting like we're experts. What the hell do we know?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're in it. But I bet the guy that we got coming on tonight knows a thing or five.
4 6.
That's
maybe even 3.
That's why we bring these guys
460
on.
Maybe even 3.
Yeah.
3.
There, yeah, one of those numbers.
I can't count.
6.
6-0.
Yeah. 6.
That's fantastic.
69, dude.
No, 6-0. 6-0.
Oh, sorry, I went Bill and Ted there. Jones, you ever get into the NASCAR stuff ever in your life? We
used to watch it all the time.
Okay.
Hey,
David. Hey, man.
Yeah, I've been to local sprint cars and down like an hour and a half south or so. They do this thing. Actually, this next month they do a pumpkin smash. So it's like all these. Like you can build a car and get in there if you want, and they smash like all those cardboard tubs of pumpkins in front of stores. They'll pour like 5 of them on right in front of the stands, and guys just hit those and just get all sideways. They got like all the goofy ones, like the boat toes and all the crazy ones. But yeah, like all that's what they're called, the little sprint cars with the big tires and with the fins and stuff.
I bet this guy
on the dirt tracks, like yeah.
You know what? Let's.
Dude, I've seen crazy stuff happen in those.
I think this is like since we're in it, let's just bring in someone that can really weigh in on some crazy shit that they've seen.
Who's that, Tony?
Oh, oof.
Oh shit.
Oof.
Hang on, I got notes.
Yeah.
Don't put it on big screen. It's too much pressure. I'm not ready.
It's exactly. That big screen's the devil's, huh?
I know. With dirt in his veins and IndyCar ladder system experience, this driver is now pivoting potentially. I'm not reading this. I feel like that's dated. His ability to handle 800 horsepower open wheel cars and intelligently adapt to any racing environment will continue to push this dude to victory when competing in his next series. This gentleman and dude continues to be one of the most exciting young top drivers in the country. There are currently no other drivers in the circuit with this combination of generational industry DNA, hands-on track experience, and unparalleled, relentless commitment to excellence at such a young age. Our favorite driver. Heard it here first. Our original driver. He agreed to put the Dude Network logo on the hood of his next race in return for coming on our show.
Yes.
He just found out about this. Trey Burke.
Good.
What's
Hola,
up, buddy?
what's up? How's it going?
Good, man.
It's going.
I'll make it happen.
Surprise!
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'll
seriously, man. That's welcome to have you. We're happy to have you here, man. We're already in the thick of this discussion. We've never had racing topic on here, so we're gonna probably have a lot of questions. This is gonna be really fun. You're gonna get us at our best on this topic. So thanks for joining us, Trey. How you doing?
Thanks for having me here. It's awesome. There's no stupid question. I promise you. Ask whatever you want. All right. Okay. I'm here. I might laugh. I won't call it stupid. I might laugh, but I will give you the right answer.
Can you call it stupid? I mean, that'd be great. That would make for a better podcast. If you said
it's a stupid question, but here's your answer.
All right. Any other stupid brain busters? All right. So, Johnsy, you were talking about what kind of? Okay, you heard them talking about the cars with the big tires. What are those?
The sprint cars, right?
Yeah. So the sprint cars, it's got a bigger right rear tire, a little bit smaller left rear tire. The front tires are typically the same size. It's because they're going counterclockwise. So it's called stagger is the difference of the right rear tire to the left rear. It just helps the car turn easier. So you're not having to put in so much input with the wheel. So instead of like turning and you're over here, looking stupid, the car kind of actually does it for you. You obviously do have to fight it. But the tire offsets really do make it a whole lot easier.
Okay. Well, we have a.
Have you ever been to one of those guys? The sprint cars?
Oh yeah, Midvale. There's a racetrack like a quarter of a mile down the road from us. We didn't get to go to it every Saturday. They even have the figure 8. Yeah, they've had some cool shit. Combine. They had the combine. They brought in a bunch of old combines one night and did figure 8s with them. That was fun. I know. Well, it's up here, man. And
what else are you gonna race?
I mean, there's all kinds of shit laying around. They have
let's race some tractors.
Yeah, they've always had the trailers with the figure 8s, and one time they pulled boats. The boats was on the trailer. You had to bring in an old boat.
Yeah, and you smash the guy's boat. Right.
Little pop-up camper, 5th wheels.
Yeah, I've seen that. They do all that down the way here.
I love the ones like there's always that guy that's like a little skittish, and then there's just that guy that just says, I ain't slowing down for nothing. People are here to see chaos in the middle.
Yes, exactly.
Trey, is that you? Which are you guy? Are you the guy that plays precaution? But if you're in a figure 8, are you just going for it?
If I'm in a figure 8, I've never done it. That's one of the few things I've never done.
Seems dangerous.
It is. Yeah, it seems dangerous. I guess I would be cautious at first. Like I would just have to figure out what I'm doing. I'm going to assume that everybody else out there is kind of stupid and doesn't know what they're doing. So somebody has.
Great. That's a safe assumption.
Yeah.
How many of them guys do you think are just boozed up? Like just
probably half. Maybe
got 6 Studweisers in them. Yeah, just like body's good and loose. Let it fly in third.
Yeah, they're just driving, living in America.
They got the old 8-track out. Just put in fucking Journey. Don't stop believing.
Oh, I could imagine that there's probably some wild characters of people that do that. Like, I feel like sometimes if I'm walking down the street and somebody walks up and they're like, "Yeah, I do figure 8 racing," like, I can see that. You look like you would
figure
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
There
you
is not a
pass.
clean piece of clothing on that person.
No.
And those work boots are nowhere close to being within 20 years old. I mean, either.
Oh man.
Their steel toes are showing on both ones. Just like, yeah, that's what I race in. These are my racing boots.
Yeah.
That's like demolition derby drivers. Like,
Oh, dude,
that's so
do
brutal.
you guys know
man.
I got to do tough truck PA announcing at the fairgrounds a couple of years.
Sweet.
Best job I ever got.
That'd be a fun
in
one.
the announcing world, because it was the whole fairground, and our grandstand seats like 5,000 people. I mean, it's a big grandstand. Our fairgrounds is really big.
Hey, he's big shit, Trey. Watch out.
Well, hey,
Now there was about 1/8 of those seats filled for these, but I guarantee you they all chanted USA at one point in time, because I was like, I'm getting paid either way. And then like the girls that were supposed to be keeping track of like who got the what, like of the times and everything, they had a cooler full of beer and they were just handing me beers the whole time too. So I was up there on the mic like USA, US, and the whole crowd's like, best announcer ever. So they're like, every Tom, Dick, and literally Harry's down there like, hell yeah, tough truck. Tough truck was cool. Tough truck was cool. I'd love it when somebody would nosedive and the middle would break and it would like reverse accordion and they would drive it and the wheels were barely touching in the middle because it was just so bowed. Yeah, that was awesome. Sorry. Well, I told you, Trey, this is going to be a lot of sidebars.
You're good.
So
you're good.
We're just
here, hanging out. I'm hanging out. You're good.
So what's?
I've got the best. I've got the best sidebar ever. Oh my gosh! Look at Damon's face.
So what's some of the crazy? Okay, so you've probably raced at some wild events, or they've got where they're always promoters are doing some kind of wild attraction to get more people in the stands. What's the craziest thing that you think you have seen?
I know a big one is just like right off the rip, like 50-50 tickets is pretty good. I know that's like popular. That's nothing crazy. I know that and you got to let me think about this one. I try not to pay attention because sometimes there's just stupid stuff.
Always focused.
A lot of the time,
bro.
Probably just
he's a doodly, bro. He's a doodly.
I think just most of the time it's just some dude that just looks like he doesn't belong at the track, walking around, 50-50, get your 50-50 tickets, and it's like, okay, dude, I'm sorry, but I'm here driving. I'm not,
Yeah.
Where else. I know that, back in probably like the 80s and 90s, it was really crazy just because.
Whoa. What are you saying, bro?
What? Hey, that's just a different time, man. It's a different time.
Yeah, I can officially say I saw when he was born, and I can officially say I have interviewed somebody that was born after I graduated high school, and it was a sad day.
Ooh, that means me and Damon felt that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right, Trey. That's right. You're one of the dudes, man. You're very mature for your age. You're real I'm just living in my youth, and I'm just gonna live vicariously through you. So what's the
you race cars? You're cooler than we are, dude.
No, you got a podcast. That's awesome.
Some would say, it's a labor of love.
It
is awesome. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want to downplay it because we live. This is a wild world we're living, just like you're living a wild world. Damon Johnsy, I know you guys got some questions here. What do you got?
No, I was gonna say, before we get too deep, Trey, just tell us who you are, because we know a little bit about you, but everybody else might not.
That's a good point.
Let's introduce yourself and where you're at in the sport that you're in and everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
And real quick, because my question is, just after you do that, run into this, how you started racing, what you started racing first. Just bleed all that into one big little moment, all about you.
Okay. All right. I can do that. So I am a 4th generation. My dad, granddad, and great-granddad It kind of branches off a little bit with my uncle and granddad's brother, but it's mainly just kind of the straight line of the four of us. I started when I was 9, which is actually considered late for most people that want to race.
Oh, okay.
I'd say the average age is probably like 4 to 6, 4, 6, 7.
That's nice.
And I think it's just because like I'd always had like a go-kart. I'd always go to my with my dad when he was working on his car, and I would always just like set up dirty towels and just kind of have my own track, just kind of running around in the yard. And this is actually really funny. My parents will never live this down. They didn't know they wanted to get like a boat. Like we were gonna get a boat, like on the water. I think it was like the final test drive of like, getting this boat. They're about to make a down payment, and somewhere they had mentioned that Dad was a racer and that they were getting out of it. And I guess like something in me clicked, and I was just like, "Whoa! Like no, I'm racing. Stop." And I'd never said it before because I guess I just assumed it was going to happen at some point. And they said that like the color just left this sales lady's eyes. She knew that we weren't getting the boat. We're going to get into racing. We did that. I started actually when I was 9. It was the best Christmas gift ever. Was just this awesome badass go-kart or junior sprint.
Hell yeah.
Started doing that, just local races in the Houston area. I'm from Houston, Texas. And so we did that for about a year. So then when I was 10, we moved up. And so basically think of the sprint cars like we were describing and make it a motorcycle engine. It's called a micro sprint or a mini sprint.
Yep.
I did that I did that from basically 10 to 13. And at that point, you're racing adults. Like you're grown men. They work their 9 to 5 during the week, and then they're racing on the weekends. So these people don't play, and they do not care that you're 11, right? They don't care that you're 12. They don't care if you're 60. And of course, they're really nice individuals. But with that being said, if you do these guys wrong, they will come find you. They're not going to hurt you. But they're going to want to talk to you about it, right? So you got to grow up. So thankfully, my dad always kind of taught me if I messed up, he would make me go apologize. He's like, "Yo, you go fix it." He might yell at you, and I don't care. You have to go make it right.
Accountability. Go Pops, man.
Yeah, for real. For real. Now, that being said, I have witnessed multiple times that somebody has tried to do stuff, and that bodyguard stuff we were talking about earlier, Pops don't let it slide. He will.
Oh yeah, Pops. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Laid some people out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Can we get Pops in on an interview? Both you guys in here.
Hang on. Whoa. We can't just brush over that.
So
how many, did he melt a guy? Was he snoring? Or was it like...
No, it was basically, so what had happened was I was 14. I started racing sprint cars when I was 14. And at this point, I'd say by the time I was 13 with the micro sprints and then now 14, we're really getting out into the Midwest, out of the Houston area. Oklahoma is a huge racing area. The Midwest as a whole, Indiana is obviously huge.
Right.
This particular instance is we were in Dallas, and this dude just like wrecked me and him, just took us both out. He was like behind me. I didn't even know he was there. Took us both out. Long story short, this guy is just kind of like cussing me out. I'm like flipped upside down, by the way. Like I'm hanging in the car and I hear this dude yelling at me and I'm like, whatever, like not my problem, bro. Whatever. So we go back to the pits, with the trailer, and this dude starts like yelling and like threatening me. Like, I'm going to take you out. I'm going to kill you.
Oh yeah. People like to throw them like just kill. I'll kill you.
Yeah,
like
exactly. I don't care where we are, any place, anytime. And I'm just kind of sitting here like, okay, dude, it's all good. Whatever. I know you wrecked me, but it's okay. And he starts charging at me, and this is where it gets better. Dad's brother is like an ex-Marine. comes out of nowhere and like just gets this dude in a headlock. Like total, his face is turning purple, and like this one was crazy. This one was actually more of my uncle than Dad. Because I think Dad just kind of like stepped. We just laughed at this guy as he's in a headlock on the floor.
Look at him.
I'll always remember just standing there right next to my mom, just kind of laughing at this guy who's like.
Well, I mean, dude, you're an idiot
hilarious.
if that's how you're acting towards a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you're a fucking piece of shit, dude. Like, I said it. I said it.
No.
Quietly,
Well,
but
I mean,
it
okay,
loudly.
so
I
don't
mean
want to
it
be
loudly.
mean, but if you're 40 driving the entry level into it, I mean, sometimes you got to read the room,
Well, okay. To be fair,
hey, if you're wrecking kids and you're getting pissed, it's probably time to hang it up there.
And when you're like it's your fault. Like, if you're 40 and you haven't understand that you are the reason, you're also the reason you're not on Sundays. Yeah.
I will say though, like I was actually probably the odd one out. I was 14, and it's pretty uncommon. I'd say the next youngest person was probably 20, 21.
Wow, okay.
This is like, when I say this is like the grown man class, this is.
So you're like a prodigy.
Yeah, well, so you're like a gangster.
Not like that. It's just we've just been fortunate enough. We've been able to kind of progress, and so like there's been other instances of other people.
To the last. Outstanding.
This dude over here, 19 going on 60 himself.
Oh, it's not good. So basically, I'll pick off. So 14, we're running sprint cars. It is then from there, we actually were able to win the National Rookie of the Year. So it basically, of the one series, even though of the one class, even though that there was racing all over the country, it all falls under one like rule book, which means that they also do one point system as a bigger picture. So like there's like national points, and then if you want to run your series, you can do like a little local series stuff and you can win and all that. But nationally, of all, I don't know, probably 800 people that were eligible, we won the Rookie of the Year.
Me. Hear that, guys?
This is a group effort here. Huge group effort.
Oh, 100, dude, 100. You're just the badass driving the ship.
I'm driving it. We had our mechanic. Our mechanic Brad was, me and him were just locked like all the time. Every time we go somewhere, it was pretty cool. And I still work with him anytime I get the chance. But me and him did some really cool stuff together that year. And then, in later years as well. But that was the first time I'd really worked with him. But we were able to do that. And so during this time, this is all in about 2019, we had a really good sponsor and car owner at this point named Joe Dueling. And Joe was really helping us out financially. I'd say at this point is about probably where we could get to do it right without a lot of outside help. Racing is very expensive. My parents worked really hard.
You used to around like 80 grand, like casually earlier. Just so
and that's not even bad. Just give me
Tony, that was for a weekend, buddy.
That's almost what it cost my company the whole year to employ me. So
exactly. That sucks.
God, what a kick in the ball.
Terrible way to put it.
It's even in podcasting. That's like a lifetime amount of money.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. I think I became less of a man after that.
Yeah, I just feel like a chump. I felt poor. I might do
a chump. I feel like a sucker. Like I might do
a $50 and under meal this week, just because that's how poor I feel. Step it up.
Dang.
I do it too. I eat cheap. I had ramen right before. All right,
Typical.
Yeah, when you're driving a $300,000 freaking rock machine on the ground, like
Speaking of
suck.
Speaking of them driving that thing,
Yeah. Ray
So
Tail,
sick,
Ray
dude.
Tail.
Hell yeah. So that's called Silver Crown. So I'll get to it. That's definitely in line of stuff. That is basically it's a sprint car, but a little longer wheelbase. And they do longer races with them. Same thing.
I gotta find a track like that around here. Let's go.
It's dirt tracks here. I've never been to one.
It's crazy.
One,
You never been to a
dirt track? What?
I've always went down to the Midvale concrete.
No, dude, then you ain't even seen sprint cars race, bro.
Nope.
I know.
It's like
I have literally seen a guy come out of a turn and his fucking car just lifts up, does a flip, and lands on the wheels, just blows out. Done.
yeah.
Like, dude, it's insane.
I know. There's actually like 3 dirt tracks there's one within like 15 minutes. And then
You gotta go.
So you just failed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, in
yeah.
all
It's
fairness,
just
I haven't been to much
a
racing
fairness?
since I moved down here. Where I used to live, that was like over an hour away.
Dude, hey, I'm sorry, but that seems like a sweet father-son outing.
It probably would be.
It is. No, it is. The
By
racetrack
the way,
is
you're
very-
welcome. That one's free, folks. That one's free. Find your local
It's
dirt track. Take your kids.
very,
They'll
very
freak out.
family friendly. Like the most family friendly place.
It's so
And
fun, dude.
you wouldn't think of it.
Dollar dogs.
It's no people are like there's
Not
family
anymore, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you'd love it. You'd love it.
$2 dogs.
Ain't no dollar dogs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cheap.
no.
Food's cheap. Food's cheap. Racing's good.
Yeah, you know where I live. It
Oh,
might
dude,
be
they're a
it might be
blast,
a dollar
man.
dog up here.
They are a blast.
Yeah,
Just don't sit. You don't want to sit at the very
the corners.
the corners.
Oh, that's the best place.
Right where the turn starts and right where the turn ends, because you're gonna get clipped, bro. You're gonna get clipped like you're in a drive-by.
Yep.
I always like there's always like
No,
3 every racetrack seems to have like 3 families that all hate each other equally, and it's just
That's every
like
racetrack
like
locally.
that's what I'm saying. It's like O'Doyle rules, bro. Like that's how it is. Like when I get down
It's
there,
the
they'll
Burke's rule, dude. What do you mean?
Well, this
Nah,
family got class. They got class. They take accountability. They ain't out there flexing on other families like F you. You wrecked my Cavalier in the compact series. I'll kill you.
The compact
Damn.
series.
We have the compact series down
That's
here, man.
actually a
Oh,
thing.
dude, I know that's
People
what I'm saying.
do that.
So
They have
hey,
these
you guys
tracks,
met
bro. You
my
can
brother-in-law Chase. He's going to actually getting into the compact series down the street next year.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep.
If he'll let me, I'll be his mechanic. I'll fly across
Oh,
that
that-
and change out a
Yeah,
tire.
it'll fall apart.
Oh,
it'll
give me the
fall
fire retardant suit. I
absolutely
am
not,
ready.
dude. We
It'll
want
fall apart.
to help him be a winner. No,
Yeah.
like, so that's not
I
going to
am a
happen.
winner.
No,
All
I'm not
You're
saying you're
no
not. I'm just saying.
Well, you're
As
a
clearly
mechanic.
hey Trey, did it kind
No,
of pain
I'll
not to be a
explain.
loser right there?
I'll
I
explain.
mean,
No,
I feel like a little
no,
bit like a loser because I wanted to be
No.
a winner, and he was like, "No chance that you can pull that off," and it did not make me feel.
I'm
like a
just
winner.
saying you absolutely could pull it off. And you'd probably have the sickest style, and it'd be sweet, and everybody.
Trey,
would
is he
love
now
it.
retreating from? His
No, I'm not
previous
retreating.
statement?
But here, Damon,
Maybe
check
I
my
think he is.
What I'm saying is if we want your brother-in-law to win,
Stay
we're
out of it.
definitely not going to hire you for that particular position.
We'll let
I'm
you clear the
fueled by
tires.
I'm
You
fueled
can
by
clear the tires.
garage beer. He's winning everything, bro.
That's when the whole car falls apart.
Right.
You could be like an intern. You could go be like and just like
Hey,
sit there and watch him.
We'll put you.
Yeah,
No,
Give him a
No, I ain't
spotlight.
I got
in,
it.
no,
No, I got
man. If I ain't involved, I'll sit.
Tony.
and
No,
stand
you
and
got
can. You get the
perfect job
stopwatch.
for
not win.
I got the
You
perfect.
stop watching. Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the perfect job for you. You get on a set of headphones and you just talk him through the whole race, so he's having a good chill
Motivational.
time. Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, what was that pit crew guy that just got in trouble?
Oh, with Austin Dillon, wreck him.
Yeah,
Wreck him,
wreck him,
right.
wreck him, low, clip him,
I will- There are some.
Okay, you're not doing that job either. Damn it, Damon. Sorry, I tried.
No, you'd be shocked. I have buddies that like I would just put like some of my buddies are really good at like spotting with some of the stuff I've done, and there was this. It's called the Little 500. It's a 500 lap pavement sprint car race.
That's
And,
a minute in the car, man.
Like one of my best friends spotted me, and it was awesome. Like we got through the whole thing, we finished the race, and like it was ridiculous. It was a long, long
that's
race.
hella cool.
Did you just like piss yourself?
Hmm?
Did you just piss? I know racers, they just piss those pants. They just piss.
I see how they might. I haven't had to or even like been close. But once you get comfortable enough, the adrenaline kind of just wears off, and you're just kind of there cruising. It makes a lot of sense. You kind of get like hypnotized, actually, almost.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, that'll fall into that question right there. Do you get dizzy turning left all the time?
Not really. I don't think I haven't.
Follow up. Do you get dizzy when you turn right?
Yes.
Used to
Yes,
it.
No. Equilibrium isn't used to going to the old Roger.
No.
Well,
Is it hard to turn right after turning left so many times in one day?
No. Well, okay. So here's the thing about racing. So,
he's gonna say
the whole like from the movie Cars or whatever.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna say
that is legit. Like dirt racing with the sprint car, even though you're going counterclockwise, technically going left, and you've got the bigger tire, you are actually turning more to the right than the left because you're just drifting. You're literally drifting. That's the easiest way to put it.
Yeah.
And
Literally, that's why dirt tracks are so sick. They literally are just they grip the dirt once in front of the stands. That's about it.
Yep. And if you don't believe it,
I'm not doing
here you go. Here you go, Trey. If you don't believe it,
starting down through it.
Take us on 2 laps right here, Trey.
Oh yeah. So this is in Belleville, Kansas. And
all those front moves are counter drift.
This is awesome, by the way.
This is sad.
The fact that you have these clips on your page is so badass. Anyone else around?
Come on, get out of his way.
Come on, past this slow ass 60-year-old rookie. He ain't going.
But that's exactly what he was explaining, though.
Yeah,
right.
So,
constantly doing this.
Yeah, constantly fighting it and
trying really hard to go that way.
And that's a really big. That was kind of like a bigger track that we go to. There's some tracks that are really tiny, and like you're actually like with that one, like I'd say you were kind of you're turning a decent amount for like what I'm used to, but then the smaller tracks, you're like full crank.
Right.
You're really just driving it in there and hoping it sticks. It will, you just got to figure out where.
That's badass.
Trust fall. Yeah,
so as a racer that's used to sticking and moving like that, or do you feel like you're better bobbing and weaving through traffic normally?
Through traffic? I bet if I tried to, I could. I don't really.
I'm not saying dangerously, just like
like reading traffic. Yeah, I don't really like if
it's no big thing, huh?
Right.
You pass guys at 200 miles an hour. Get out of my way.
I drive like a Nissan Rogue. I'm in like the mom car of mom cars, which is fine.
I love it. Right? Who cares?
It's great. It's awesome. But yeah, like I don't really like need to. Go in and out of traffic. If I do, I'm fine. I feel like it would really help if there's like a wreck right in front of me, ability like dodging it.
Right.
Which is like I don't want to be in that position.
Negative.
But I feel like if I was there, I would be fine for the most part. Yeah. And I feel like if it's raining and you start to like hydroplane, I feel like I'd be fine with kind of damage control.
Right. Hey, I'm not a racer. I've done pretty good every time it's ever happened to me. So
yeah, it's not super hard. I mean, the concept is like as straightforward.
Right. I get the concept. I just don't know if I'm willing to do that at whatever god awful speed you guys do it at on a dirt track. Because there are other idiots involved. That's
Yeah.
the wild card right
These
there.
are pros.
That's what a lot of people like to. They'll always ask. They'll be like, "Oh, how fast have you gone?" And it's like the fastest is like 185, 186 probably, and it's like, "Oh, but that's not that fast." And it's like, "Well, you're racing with people. That's next to somebody."
That's actually
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
On dirt and shit, people.
Right. That was on pavement. 180.
Yeah, I'm sure that was on pavement,
Like,
right? What do you do on dirt? What do you do on dirt? Like
140 to
140 tops?
140. You can
Yeah.
get 140 on dirt.
20 to 40.
150 if you. I know that with those Silver Crown cars, they actually go run at dirt miles. It's a horse track, so like a mile horse track,
Right.
and they just say, "Screw it! Once a year, we're putting cars on them."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. And so those probably get like 150.
Oh. See, it would be so sick to do it. I would like to drive it as fast as I wanted to by myself. I don't want to have to worry about other people. That's where like that whole skill level and like how you're just saying you kind of just like trance out and just you're in it, having your buddy spot for you. All right, I see it, whatever.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting your
like a really good spotter that I've got a few of them. It's being able to know how I drive and actually not watch me, but watch what's going on in front and like set a pick. So like you're coming up on a lap car and you can't get around this one guy. He'll call it, be like, "Go low right here." And I'll go low. And sure enough, that other car will just get stuck behind this guy and you just cruise right on by. Or being able to know, like, there's different ways to set up the car of making it want to turn easier or actually take a little bit more wheel input. Like you turn the steering wheel more than like the car turning for you. And people are kind of all across the board on what they like. So having a good, spotter and mechanic combination makes the whole process easier.
So now, you bringing that up real quick, you know how like in all the movies, all these street races and all this stuff have all these digital stuff. They just do everything they want to on the fly right there. How much of yours is sweat and wrenches, and how much do you guys have technology where you type in stuff, drop suspension, whatever?
So there's the road course racing I've done. It's called the Road to Indy or Road to IndyCar. It's think of an IndyCar, make it miniature, right? Less horsepower, smaller wheelbase, less grip. Literally just a miniature IndyCar or F1 car, same thing. Those are probably really high tech in the form of they'll have like their computer and they'll want to drop the car literally like 1,000th of an inch. Like,
right.
And like they call it a flat as well as, other measurements. And you'll plug it in and be like, I want to do this to it. And then it'll spit out the number. You're like, all right, I'm going to drop it, 2 flats, which is literally like nothing. But that like totally changes the handling of the car. Those actually had like an electronic steering wheel. So I could see like RPM, the gear I'm in, if I wanted to, like all the temperatures, brake bias. Like you can change how percenting of the brakes go to the front and the rear. So like it's like more touchy to the front or to the rear. There's a whole lot of stuff you could do.
Yeah, that's so sick. Now is your team able to see all that stuff that you can see too as well when you have that sort of setup going on? Or is that kind of part of just your guys' communication back and forth? You tell them what you feel or whatever.
Part of the communication. It's kind of like a given that if I come in and it's like a really small adjustment that I need to make or that I'm asking for, it's kind of like the unwritten rule is that like, well, I should try to solve it myself, right? So if I can fix it with the brake bias or my driving style, try to do that before coming in and making a change because
that takes time off the track,
right, exactly. And the hardest thing about racing is that there isn't like to practice is just like nothing. Like you can't go outside and shoot hoops. It is you got to rent the track, you got to get a bunch of people out there. You do one day of practicing and you're in 20 grand. Like, just like that. Like,
frick.
10 grand, 20 grand,
It's just a different world. It's just a different world, man.
I think one of my things, like I will die on this hill that racing can be the most expensive sport if you make it. People
Absolutely.
will.
I'm starting to agree with
Yeah,
that.
I can't think of anything that's like to just have a day of practice costs you that much. Unless you wanted to like rent a professional to play with you. I don't you
Right.
know, you probably still get that guy cheaper than 20 grand.
Exactly. I know that like the closest is actually like horse riding or whatever, like equestrian stuff, like horse riding.
Mhm.
Like the horses themselves can be really expensive.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, so USF 2000 stuff. This y'all will get it here. The USF 2000 1 year with like the best team, all in travel, estimated, some crash damage, $500,000. $500,000. And so, and that's like
that's just like we're just guaranteeing that's what it's going to cost. It may be more, but yeah,
it could be more. And it might be like 50 grand less.
right.
So that's like also the lowest level of this road to Indy. There's USF 2000, Indy Pro, Indy Lights, and then IndyCar. So
I've heard of Indy Lights.
Indy Lights is $1.2 to $1.4 million a year. Probably call it 1.5 after crash damage. The Pro one is like 750,000.
Okay.
And the thing that is that like it's not really televised, like at all.
No,
you're doing all this, and this is after they've tried to make the series cheaper as well. Like they've been working recently to make it more affordable for drivers.
Man. Hey, you nailed it, guys. You nailed it.
Yeah. Now it is still dropping. I'd say they probably can knock off $100,000 every year, every 2 or 3 years of the costs, which is a lot. But yeah, it's still
But it's still 1.4 this year, so.
Oh yeah.
In like 10 years, it'll be a lot cheaper.
yeah. By the time you're done and can't do anything with it, it'll be a lot cheaper.
Right.
Hey, we're going to take a timeout here. We have our commercial break. Conversation's flowing. We already went 10 minutes.
We're going to put the yellow flag out. Put the yellow flag.
Yeah. Trey, are you cool to skip a little bit after 10? If you got to go at 10, we'll let you out at 10, but we got an extra 10, 15 if you're good.
I'm good. Can I go take a piss real quick?
We're getting ready to do that. Piss break. We'll be right back after this piss break. I mean commercial break right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Drinking. Yeah, a lot of
Is there anything on your bucket list that now with all this happened is creating more opportunities for you? Is there anything that you got planned that you're going to do that you're really excited about? And is there something that you really want to do that you're hoping you get to schedule here soon?
I am working on some. I have a couple of things working. So trying to get Coley's as an actual brick and mortar is one.
Okay.
And the other is I really like doing different festivals. So just being at different festivals and just growing my business. I think that's like just what I'm just really, working on. I'm trying to make sure that I am staying focused and getting things done.
Trials and levels to Stocker self-manufactured cement products such as cement blocks, septic and reservoir tanks. Stocker Concrete also offers cement truck delivery. Call Stocker Concrete 740-254-4626. Find them at 7574 US Route 36.
Jeff, what is your favorite comfort food dish?
Oh my God. It's like a mixture of things, if I can say that. Like cabbage and sweet potatoes. Like if I can have cabbage and sweet potatoes.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Like fried, like chunk up sweet potatoes and saute them with cabbage,
candied or baked, or it doesn't matter because I really love sweet potatoes and I really love cabbage. And so it doesn't matter how they're prepared, but like that is like my comfort food to where I feel like no matter how it's cooked, I'm like, oh, just happy.
Yeah, cabbage is so cheap too.
Yo. Hey, that's what I always sing. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
You found it, dude. Yeah. Real quick. Welcome back, Polar Knights. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. As a barber, every time he comments, we get a little bit more of the insight.
Right.
Like
a little bit more into him. But it's always about the perfect evolution of
Yeah.
Be ready. Yeah. Trey.
I'm working on it.
Trey, whenever when he's on a date with a girl over 18, she feels like she is robbing the cradle and assaulting a minor. But
thank you, sir. Thank
Copper John.
Yeah, thank Copper John. Hey, seriously, man, that stuff. I had some bad. I let it go for a few days, and they got out of control. But that Copper John's brought it right back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Damon has the perfect.
Dang,
man. I felt pretty good about mine, but maybe not.
It's all right.
I will say it's a little off center right now. Here we go.
So, Trey,
yo,
you run both dirt and asphalt. Which is, and I could probably tell you the answer, but which is your favorite to actually run?
Dirt. Dirt's harder.
I knew it.
It makes you better. If I could, like, my dream, if I just had all the money in the world, would be to let everybody that thinks dirt racing is easy just try to drive a sprint car once. Like, I love watching people do it.
I can do that thing at 60.
No, like race pace. Like you got to be like cruising.
Oh yeah, you got to roll.
Oh, I'll give it my damnedest, son. Know that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is just because
you got a budget to clean up after my match.
Yeah, I'm saying you sound like you got some damage built into that budget there. So yeah, I want to test that.
Yeah, I just think it's harder. There's a lot more going on. The cars are different, right? You've got to deal with the big wings if you do those, or without them. They're both equally as challenging and way different. And there's a reason that these top NASCAR guys like Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, come from dirt racing and go and drive dirt racing, sprint cars, wherever they can. If it didn't work, they wouldn't be here, right? Kyle Larson, he's like my GOAT. I love watching him. And anything he gets in, he is like the guy to watch. He's, even when he did the Indy 500, first time in an Indy car, people were over here like this guy could win. And again next year, he very well might.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing with him too is anything you put him in, he'll drive the wheels off of it.
Yeah, once you've driven a 410 sprint car, life is so much easier. Like everything else is just slowed down. Like, yeah, the easiest way to explain it is that like once you do the sprint car, everything else is just like slow motion, right? Like you don't need, your reflexes don't have to be as fast because everything's not coming at you so quick. You have better car control now because you're used to sliding around. Your decision making is just on another level. And so 4 cylinders, great. That's basically what I started in. It's the best place. There's a track right minutes from me that runs 4 cylinders. There's micro sprints. Anything.
Are you allowed to put NOS in those?
Man, you might get disqualified. I mean, you can. Nothing's gonna.
It's illegal, man. Your rules suck.
Bro, what are you trying to do? Fly out of the fucking track?
Set shit on fire. What else would I be?
No, bro. That would be I wouldn't even. I've been in have you ever been in a car and someone tapped the nitrous button?
Actually, you know what? I have never been in a car.
Dude,
with nitrous.
that's a completely different experience.
I knew a buddy that had it, but I never got to ride in it, and I didn't want to.
Sits you back and you scoot.
Mm-hmm.
And you're already going 140 on dirt with a fin that could possibly send your car up into a
I'm
flip.
thinking it could just boomerang
just
you
wanna-
around the curb. Yeah,
Negative.
it's gonna like get that back end a little loose. You'll just drift right around
Bro,
the
at the
corner.
Madera
past
track-
everybody high up on the wall.
I mean,
you're
at the
welcome.
Alameda track, you would hit the
Welcome.
turn and just keep floating
Champion.
and land on the freeway.
Look, he was National Rookie of the Year. We got a lot to defend here. We got to get the NOS involved. I'm just saying.
Now hold on. Would you, if you weren't going to get disqualified, would you use that?
Probably not.
I rest my case. I rest my case.
Listen,
Well, hold on, but I wouldn't do it for what you're thinking of. I wouldn't do it because if I'm gonna beat somebody, I want to beat them fairly. Because if you go out there and you win, people are just gonna be like, "Oh, you used the NOS." I want to go out there and I want to beat you, and same stuff. It's to me, it's like bragging rights.
You would want to be going 140 and then tap a NOS button on a dirt track.
I don't need to. You wouldn't be going. You would hit 140.
No, you would use it. Yeah, you would use it to get
on
up.
the last straight
you're right,
stretch,
you're right.
though, you would hit that NOS on that last straight stretch, though, right? Give you that little.
I mean, you could. I don't know. I don't think you would get wound up enough. I don't know. You need a really big.
I mean, think about it. Then you're opening up.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
with
think
NOS
that's
energy
track
drinks.
big enough to do that.
If you
NOS
start
energy
sending
drinks is
NOS, you
huge
can
in
team up
racing
with NOS energy drinks.
They're already big, but they're one of the biggest racing, dirt racing brands.
They're everywhere, at every track. Banners all around, everywhere.
What, NOS?
Yeah. NOS energy drinks? Yeah.
Well, screw them then. Are they with you?
No.
Then screw them then. NOS
Hey,
sucks.
they could be. What if
Actually,
they're watching right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, they're watching right now.
Yeah.
Well,
what if
I
you
won't.
Then
I
they
don't
better
condone-
they
I
better
won't
pay you
condone-
big money to take place over
Listen,
the Dude
they
Network. That's all I'm
obviously-
saying,
they-
NOS.
look, if
You
they're
got
not
a lot to
sponsoring,
step up to the plate.
if they're not sponsoring Trey, then they obviously want to be a loser, and we don't affiliate with losers. That's all I got to say about it.
Fair enough.
That's fair game. That's
I can't
Yeah,
argue.
I was like, no one can.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
Jonathan was sitting there, and he's like, "How can I?" He's like, "I got."
No,
nothing
I
to
wasn't
say."
even trying. I was just like, yeah, that's
That checks out.
Yeah, we
NOS,
still-
NOS energy fuels losers. You heard it here first.
this is my perfect time to
Trey's
remind
going to get an
everybody
email like, "Hey, like we
that,
got to meet with NOS."
all
He's like, "Shit,
statements
hey,
here-
Tony, can you
all
delete the show
statements
for
here are
Friday?"
made by the individuals and are not
This is
representative of what the beliefs and statements of the Dude Network as a whole is represented. They are for entertainment purposes only and made, again, strictly the individual who made the statement. Thank you.
Good save.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's here on videotape.
Yep.
That's an old school term people don't even know about.
Yeah,
You know what videotapes are?
Like a VHS?
Wow, I'm
There you go.
impressed, man.
Well,
Outstanding.
fourth generation. He's very involved with his grandpa, so that's gonna be.
Oh yeah, you guys probably have.
Grandpa's making him watch his
old
VHS
recordings,
tapes from the '80s. Yeah, he's like, hey,
Hey,
John Wayne
and that's
movie.
how you take a turn, son.
get that can of NOS out of the fridge and get up here and crack it open and have a cold one with your
He's done
grandpa.
that. I'm pretty sure. I want to say there's been times where he's handed me like a movie of like a CD and be like, "You need to watch this." And it's like I thought it was a CD and it's like a VHS. And it's like, well, as I'm watching it at your house, like I know he had a VHS player, and I don't know if we had one at our house. I want to say we did, maybe. I don't know. Sorry,
It's only a
Mom.
matter of time before it comes back. Now's the time to buy them things up. They're cheap.
I mean, DVDs have been phased out basically your whole life already.
I have
Mhm.
the best DVD
remember
collection.
I'm
Joe.
joking. I know.
I
I'm
have
not
such an
that-
amazing
I'm
DVD
not
collection.
I do remember that. That was always like I remember is like if you wanted to listen to like specific music, you bust out the CD. You had like the whole
Oh,
book.
yeah.
You had the whole book of
Oh,
like
yeah.
CDs.
Oh,
Trying to drive,
Mm-hmm.
pick out which one you want. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
Actually, I got mine too.
Good. You passed the test so hard, man.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
No,
Yeah,
actually, Johnsy, if you want to pass the test, I'm gonna throw it out to you. Look in the background over his shoulder and tell me who that is right there on the wall.
Already see it. Yeah.
That is My Chemical Romance. That's some Alice in Chains.
Yep.
Metallica.
Hey,
Oh,
he
yeah.
listens to the Rooster before every show,
He's-
every race,
yeah.
right?
That was like I don't know why, but my dad was like, he would always play that song in his truck. I remember it was a white Chevy Avalanche, and he had like the CD of it, and he would, and right before like it gets really heavy, he would always like crank it, and I was like, all right, cool, this is what we're doing now.
He'd be like, that's my jam.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So
Okay, if you guys had
snuff the rooster.
yeah. All right. So if you guys had the Damon Johns, this one's for you guys.
Oh boy.
One song to make you drive that car through a fucking brick wall.
I already know what
No
it is,
repercussions.
100%.
All right, what is it?
Big Wiggly Style by Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like their go-to for everything, though.
Bro, that song gets me so fired up.
There's so many. I don't know if I could pick.
I mean, there's a lot that
Yeah,
will
yeah, I
also
mean-
do that, but like if I just had to choose one, I'd probably just take that one and we'd pump that one. I could probably listen to that and just smash 200 miles an hour like this the whole time.
I'm sitting here trying to
Just
think,
one
man.
hand on the roll bar, the other hand on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
get you out of here, Chris.
Like if it's rocking, trying to tip over. Nope.
There's one song I got. Damon, what do you got? I mean,
I'll go
you guys
ahead
are gonna
and do
make fun of me for mine because
I'll
it's
go ahead
not
with yours.
with-
I'm a Barbie girl, isn't it? I knew it.
No, it's that Narcos Timmy Trumpet.
What?
That intro to that, man, it just gets me ready to.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know
Yeah,
which one you're
dude.
talking
It's
about.
the one where the Mets closer came out
Yes,
for a year.
Yes.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz
know what
went
it
for a
is.
year to that song, and he timed it to when his foot stepped on the grass, the beat dropped in. It's like some modern. It's not tech. It's like DJ music. You know, Timmy Trumpet has done a lot of. But yeah, it's hype music, man, and every time I want to do a video to that intro, and I just want to watch it over and over and over and over. But
That one is cool. I know exactly what video you're talking
on
about.
that genre for that, but then also like if I do rap, I'm doing some Young Jeezy, like put on for my city. Yeah, I'm gonna feel it. I'm gonna take. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, Tony Dollars and
I love me some
Tony
Jeezy,
Dollars
man.
and
Young
the
Jeezy
chat.
in that era was a
Shit,
menace.
here we go.
I
Here
love
we
the rocking
go.
that Cincinnati Reds hat. Hell yeah.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh, here we
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Now you're a Cincinnati fan?
No, he wore it. He was a Compton dude wearing
Oh.
the Cincinnati Reds hat, which I'm pretty sure means he was a bug. But anyway, that's a different thing.
Oh,
Jeezy's from, I don't know if he's Compton. He's from Cali, though.
Yep.
no,
I don't think so.
no.
Yeah, all right, let's Google
No.
it. Where's Young Jeezy from? Trey, do you
He's
know?
from, he's from Atlanta.
Oh
He's from
man, I got my
Atlanta.
phone right here.
Oh, Jeezy is from Atlanta. Shit.
Yeah.
The
I
The
was
game.
waiting.
The game is from Cali. That's who.
James
wearing the Reds
Miller,
hat.
yes.
Yeah, the game wore the Reds hat. My bad.
What do you know why he wore the red hat?
Because he's in a blood.
Okay.
And the C stood for Compton, not Cincinnati on that head.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then he could have got the block C from the Indians.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Roll Tribe. Division champs.
Old tribe.
Oh god.
Division champs. Division champs. Trey, do you like any sports outside of racing, or you just race?
I used to play baseball, basketball, football. I say I stopped playing them all pretty much around middle school. I'd say if I wasn't racing, probably baseball. I was a pretty good baseball player. I just nothing was like racing, and I knew that like I was decent at baseball, but I didn't care. Like I didn't care about it. It's not what I wanted to do.
Do you still watch it though? Do you get into it?
Yeah, I love the Astros. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Oh, trash
Come
can
on.
city.
Come on.
Hey,
Damn it, Trey, we were doing so good. This was the best show ever.
I
It
almost
was.
pushed through your dude lead application. I'm glad I held off.
Past tense.
Glad I held
You know
off.
what?
That's
you
fine.
You now get a 2x2 sticker on your front fender. That's what you get. We don't know if we want to be associated with any trash throws. You know what's funny is like my Guardians, like if if you guys win, we got you. I think in the first in the ALDS.
I hope we win. We started off the season like terrible. We were really bad, and then
White dog shit.
yeah, and then we've been picking it up. I don't know. Last I checked, we were leading the division.
You won you won the West.
I thought we did. I just
The Mariners blew it again. The Mariners blew it again.
Let's go.
My teams are nowhere to be found this year, so there's outstanding.
So how was it going to school, Trey? How was it going to school?
Great question.
Yeah.
Being that cool guy that races all the time. How was that at school?
Especially being from basically racing royalty.
Right.
Honestly, because Texas isn't like the biggest racing state, and then I also just wouldn't ever really talk about it unless somebody asked me to, just because I was always,
Humble to the last.
I would always be watching racing videos, right? There's like, 3 things guaranteed that I was going to do at school. Probably 4 things at school, right? I'm sorry, Mom, in advance, but she knows.
Mom, I got a tattoo.
No. Watching racing videos, reading a racing book, sleeping, or just barely passing the class. Like a B or a C. I'm getting a C.
Whoa, barely passing.
To get degrees. I still got into grad school with a C+ average, man.
You can, but that's what I'd be doing if I'm actually at school. Obviously, like my close friends knew about it. Some of the teachers knew just because I would have to tell them like, "Hey, I'm leaving." And then some of them
I don't need this. Trust me. I'm gonna go do my other thing.
Yeah,
my real job.
Yeah, I gotta work this weekend.
Hey, I got work. I gotta clock in on like Friday afternoon, so I won't be here.
Right.
Hey, you have detention on Friday. Actually, I don't.
No.
Yeah. You can wipe your hairy ass.
I would say though that like I definitely, like I said, I would talk about it, and people knew I did it. I just would not really, I would do it. People would be like, "Hey, how was the weekend?" It was good. We did this and this, and just kind of move on. The biggest thing would be some teachers would try to get me to do my work at the track. No. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
We're focusing different ways now.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. And they're like, well, you can, read in between races or whatever. No.
Negative.
No. I'm not using, I'm not doing math in between my racing. I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah, I'm not even doing my favorite subject in between races.
Look at that. He's like, bitch, I'm special.
No.
He said no.
No, I'm just.
Don't put the words in his mouth.
Definitely never said that.
Yeah.
So now, did you guys move from Texas to those other states?
No, so I did by myself.
Okay.
So I moved to Indy in the summer of 22. I was 17, and I was living in one of my crew chief for the Road to Indy stuff. I was living in like his walk-in attic for the summertime. And at this time, remember that Joe Dueling guy that was paying for all this stuff? Right. He actually ran out of money. So I moved up to Indy with no money, no rides, living in this guy's attic for the summertime. And we were able to kind of do some various races. And then I remember I called my mom one day and just kind of woke up. I was like, hey, can you send me all my stuff? I don't think I'm coming back home. And she totally got it. She was like, I knew this was going to happen.
Right.
She was like, I knew this was going to happen. It'll be there in 2 weeks.
It's already all packed, damn it.
Yeah, all packed up. It's coming.
Right.
I already turned your room into my spa.
Yeah, yeah. Your room's been destroyed.
It's now my craft room.
I had to enroll into a new high school. I had to finish high school. I wasn't even graduated yet. So I had to graduate from some random high school in Indiana. And it was fun. I only had to really go for a half day. I had a blast though. It was really cool. I ended up actually right at the school year started, ended up moving into this spare house of my car owner that then started to drive for. He had like this spare house, like at the front of his property. It was like an awesome, I'm there by myself, right? And so I woke up every morning. I went to school, and then right after school at noon, I went to the gym every day, 5 days a week. And then from the gym, I would go straight to work. I actually got a part-time job at a go-kart track just for money. So that was pretty much every day was, school to, the gym 100%, and the gym straight to work, get home at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and do it all over.
Jeez, man.
It was fun though. Like
That's so cool because, man, I mean, the generations are just built different nowadays than they were back in the day, and you just don't see that kind of hustle very often anymore. Like completely away from your family. Like, yeah, you're with a support group, because you're driving. Still,
I mean, as the teenager,
still a kid going to your own different high school, this and that. Like, that's cool, man. It's cool to hear this part of the story.
But also, it helps. I mean, I'm sure now with being on the road, that starting like at that age has made a massive difference. And
you heard it here first, folks. By the way, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Trey Burke story on the
I'll tell it to people. It's definitely not like my thing I lead with. If I get into it with somebody, I'll bring it up like, I moved here. But also, Indianapolis specifically is like the state for dirt racing. Like sprint car racing.
I believe it.
It can very well be your way of life, and people make a very good living from it. If this doesn't work out, I'm moving back to Indiana probably, because I know I can make something of myself there. So I did that. I kind of bounced around living with myself, with roommates, just kind of whatever was cheaper. I actually, and before I moved here, was living in a house, a really nice house there was like 5 or 6 of us, and we were all in racing. One of them was my good buddy that raced. One of them worked for an IndyCar team. 2 of them worked for a sprint car team. And so that thing was like, that house was just straight up racing. There was, racing simulators in the living room. I had a go-kart there. If you walked in, you'd be like, I think these people, they like racing, maybe they might just like it. And that was fun. It was actually pretty rare that all 5 of us would be there at the same time, just because of, all of us being busy, but it was so fun. We had all our racing buddies over. Like if we were going to go to the races to watch the next day, there'd be like 8 of us at the house, just, spend the night and then get up early and just carpool to the track, multiple nights in a row. And, and we, Ohio, you go across state, in the state, out of the state, just, Pennsylvania, wherever that racing is, you just go. And if you're there, you just get noticed enough that, you're a known face around the race.
So when did you end up in North Carolina? And explain that story for everybody.
Yeah. So actually about 3.5, 4 weeks ago is when I moved here.
Oh, wow.
So rewinding back to 2022, when I first moved to Indy, and I moved there in May. And then in August, I actually got the chance to do a NASCAR truck race at Mid-Ohio, which is a road course. Very fortunate circumstances with just kind of the way that the cards fell. And we were able to raise, they needed like 40 grand, I think was the number, that we had to find 40 grand in like a week if we wanted to do the race. Well, from the Road to Indy stuff, it was like, I don't know, there's no networking. I don't know if we can give you this kind of money. Well, people were throwing me their, $1,000, $5,000 left and right because, oh my God, it's NASCAR trucks, televised and everything. And so I qualified 16th out of 32, something. I got lucky that it was actually raining. That actually, I think, played into my favor. And so after doing that whole weekend, we had mechanical failures in the race, so we didn't finish, but it opened my eyes, and I was able to be like, wow, this could really be something here. Because with the IndyCar, you either have all the money to do the season or you don't. And that's like millions and millions of dollars. Like, it's very unrealistic, unless you come from a lot of money. Where with the NASCAR stuff, you can pick and choose. If I want to go up to a team and do 6 races, they'll give me the number and I can bring them that money. I can do my races I want. So it's a lot easier to pick and choose the races you want to do with the money you have to make yourself then more known. Actually working with, Wings and Wheels right here, Wings and Wheels Foundation. They basically help bridge the gap of cost and to the driver. It's a 501c3. So if somebody wants to make a donation, it's an immediate tax write-off. They can pick. I think there's 5 or 6 of us that are the drivers in this foundation. And if you want to donate, you can. And
what's the name of it again?
The Wings and Wheels Foundation.
Okay.
And we'll do all kinds of stuff. Like we've got at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we have a suite that we all go to and talk to these people. And this foundation has really saved me these past 2 years, just because it's expensive. Like I said, sprint cars is probably where us as a family would tap out. It's the peak that we can get to. That's it right there. Yep.
Hell
And
yeah.
Yeah, damn, you're still faster than me. Still faster. I don't even know why I try anymore.
That's why he's the EVP OP.
I know. I always try just to help him out, but I don't know why. I don't know
Stop
why.
trying to steal his roles.
I love you, dude. You're the best.
Yeah, man.
You know what's funny, guys?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to change it because I have a really funny coincidence.
Okay, because I was going to ask. So you went from open wheel to racing, basically, like a better term, closed wheel, which is the NASCAR trucks. Is it tough transition to come from the open wheel to that style? It's
different. I know that my first time really sitting in the car and starting it was at the track for the first practice. I remember it being inside the car. Scary isn't the right word. It was different. It was just a different environment. I'm used to having the wind flowing around me. I'm not trapped in this thing, for lack of better words.
Right.
I remember, not really claustrophobic, but it's just new. You're in this thing, and it was probably a little louder just because the sounds are trapped in the car with you. As far as driving it, though, it was probably easier just because these road to Indy cars, they've got a lot of grip. They've got the wings. You're darting all over the place. You're freaking moving in this thing. And the truck, it doesn't stop. It doesn't want to turn. It doesn't want to go. You're just in a really big – I remember feeling like, wow, I'm sitting really high up. Just what it felt like. Used to being, with the road to Indy cars, you're that far off the ground.
Right. That's
right.
And people say, "Oh, you don't go 200." Like, dude, you sit 8 inches off the ground and go 140 miles an hour. That's it's very different, folks. If you ever sat in a really fast go-kart, and those things only sit some of those when you if you ever look down, it's a little intimidating. You're it's because it's a completely different feeling.
Right. And so it was fine. I think once I got used to it, it was fine. It was just a 4-speed. I had driven other cars that were, 4-speed, box transmission, just kind of getting used to it. So I knew the process and all that, but I feel like once I got used to it, my biggest problem was that I was trying to overdrive it. I was trying to do too much, right? Felt like I was kind of being held back by I need to, go faster now or, brake a little later, where realistically that probably hurt me because I was just trying to do too much and I was, overcompensating pretty much.
I've heard that before. I overdrove the vehicle. Or it looks like he's overdriving it. Like I never quite understood what they meant by that.
So,
I get what you're kind of. I mean, from not knowing with experience, but I kind of get what you're saying.
So basically, like, to break it down as the best I can is imagine you're going straight and then you have to make a 90-degree right turn.
Right.
If you are going too fast and you go to turn, you're going to turn the steering wheel, but the tires aren't going to turn all the way. They're going to you're going to slide or push.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Okay.
You're understeering, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go and then you slow down too much and then you get on the throttle too soon, it wants to spin out. That's called an oversteer, right? So you have to find the balance of you're going in there, really, you're driving hard, you got to slow down, turn it just the right amount, and then get back on the throttle the right amount. And if you're doing that and you're, trying to overcompensate and push too much, then you're overdriving the car.
Got it.
Basically you're driving it in a way that the car can't handle. It just isn't built to do trying to get it.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, so here's
so it's like you just gotta. I'm just trying to imagine the difference. I'm just trying to imagine. It probably just should stop, Johnsy. Go ahead, Tony.
I was gonna say, this is a small world we live in sometimes. This is not the first Trey Burke I have ever had to talk about in the sports world in my broadcasting career.
Basketball player?
Yes, I covered him in high school.
No.
He played, I don't know if you remember J.J. Sellinger that played for the Boston Celtics. His dad is Satch Sellinger. It was the head coach of the Northland Vikings in Columbus, Ohio, who was good friends with the head coach of Logan High School, ex-Jeff Williamson. When I was doing the West Virginia Sports Network, when I started that up, we covered Logan High School had a D1 ball player that year, 2 D1 ball players. The Northland Vikings came down, and there was a kid named Trey Burke. And he didn't have a great game, but he was committed to go to the University of Michigan. Goes up to the University of Michigan, balls out. Like, goes nuts. 2 years later, gets drafted by the Utah Jazz, like 8th overall in the draft. And I'm like, I covered that kid in high school. And it really had bothered me. I'm like, Trey Burke. I'm like, I kept wanting to call you Trevor. Because, like, nah, I know a Trey. He's not a Trey. I thought you were like Trevor. But then I worked with Trevor Burke, but I was really like Trey Burke. And then I was like, just doing some, the standard background research of you. And it was like Trey Burke, Michigan. I was like, holy shit. I have footage of me saying that name about 15 years ago, Trey Burke. So anyway, yeah. What's funny is the basketball player that shows up as your name, I covered him.
That's crazy.
In high school, I covered Trey Burke in high school, and I did a whole play-by-play of one of his games.
That's crazy. I do. So that's the biggest thing is, like, to me, I know that I've made it. Like, I want that if you look up Trey Burke, I want to come up before him. I know that's a tall task. That is a huge task.
I think he's still in the league.
He is. I don't think he's very good, though, right now.
No, he was never good. He never lived up to 8th overall.
Right.
He never lived up.
Thank you. You too. That's a big one. Like, that's a huge task. But then, like, to me, like, Pitbull, the singer, comes up before the dog. If you look up Pitbull, he comes up before the dog. I know that's like he's way bigger than I ever will be, and that's okay. But
yeah,
I have to.
I don't know. We don't invite just anybody on this show, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
you think we're gonna invite some schmuck on here? I mean, come on.
Some singer. Yeah.
We have like 4. We see the ones who are gonna be big, and we catch them before they're big.
When I saw Trey Burke, I was like, oh my god, the basketball player, and I'm like, oh, this guy just races cars. No, I'm joking.
Not that I thought it would be.
Yeah. Oh shit! This isn't Trey Burke.
Just so you know, I could give a flying frick about the other Trey Burke because I'm
he was probably the one that knocked Jonesy's contact out in church league.
Oh, here we fuck.
Poor fella.
No, don't say that, Damon. It's not true.
If you just wore your goggles that day, you wouldn't have no issue.
If you just wore your Kurt Rambis.
I should have worn. What's that guy that wears that face mask?
Kurt Rambis, man.
Rambis, yeah.
He had the big goggles on. He always had the.
No, I'm talking about that guy who wore like the half Jason Halloween.
Oh, the Hannibal Lecter mask.
Yeah.
Which would fit you well.
Whoa, dang, dude.
Dang.
He said, yeah, eat people? Like that's a shot below the belt, bro.
Sorry,
Jeez, man.
Probably didn't deserve
You know how I feel about that.
Yeah, sorry.
Holy cow.
I don't know, kind of sorry.
Anyway.
Sorry you're offended.
That one was good.
I'll give you what my wife apologized to me. I'm sorry you're upset about it. That's her, like one of those apologies.
Don't worry, Damon.
I'm sorry.
It's
when you look at him, is that the worst? Like you look at him, you're like, I am so sorry. You're like, I'm sorry you're offended. Like that's not the same.
I'm sorry that hurt your feelings.
No.
Yeah.
Have you ever been told, well, I'm sorry you've put yourself in this position again? That one's you know what?
Dude, this is the Dude Network. That should be a t-shirt. I'm sorry you put yourself in that position.
Sorry you did that to yourself.
Oh, Trey. That's awesome.
Oh, so just me? Wow, that sucks.
Wow.
No. I'm laughing, but hey, I'm still happily married.
Bring that one up then.
I mean, we're all happily married. Sorry, but yeah, I want to keep it that way. Yeah. Oh, Trey. Hey, what do you got? We're getting ready to wrap this thing up here tonight.
Right.
Final shout out opportunity here for you. What do you got coming up here? Where can people stay locked in to find out about Trey Burke and the Trey Burke Racing Team? This your final chance here to tell everybody what they don't know to keep track with you.
Yeah. So the big one is just on Instagram, just Trey Burke 63. Facebook is just Trey Burke Racing. Same with Twitter. Website just TreyBurkeRacing.com. A lot of stuff is there. The big this off season with me moving here to North Carolina, there's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff going on behind the scenes that I'll be able to share with the public really soon, which I'm excited for. So definitely Instagram, Facebook are probably the two most active for sure, and along with the website. If you want to get merch, we've got that too. That is my. I can make that happen. So we do have t-shirts and stickers for sale as well. Thank you guys also for just having me on here. This is probably the funniest podcast interview anything that I've ever done. This is
yeah. You heard it here first, folks, from the man.
That's what we go for. Real and relatable.
Yep.
We're not breaking news. We're just breaking souls. That's what we do. That's right.
Yeah, breaking souls and crushing hearts.
Yeah, that's right.
In the good way.
Yeah. Your heart throbs. Your heart throbs. But hey, everybody, we're gonna hop off here, wrap this one up because we got another show here, and we're gonna talk to Trey and tell him, privately, thank you for hopping on here after the show. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Be a friend, tell a friend, do something nice for someone random that you have not talked to in a long time. I'm telling you, got reconnected with people from 15 years ago last week from college that I hadn't talked to in forever. And it really brought back a lot of positive vibes, good memories, happy thoughts, and some trying times. So be that friend to bring those happy vibes and memories into someone, because you never know when they need it the most. And that's what we're doing here, folks. Just trying to keep everything going. The world's a mess, but it doesn't have to be here on the Dude Network. We're your happy escape for at least a few hours every week. So let's just keep that vibe going. Bring someone else in. Bring them over. We'd love to have them. We'd love to entertain them. Bunch of non-serious bullshit here every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But that's what we're all about here.
And Thursdays.
What's that?
And Thursdays.
And Thursdays. Yes. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 9:00 Eastern start time every night here on the Dude Network. And we will see you guys next time. Hey, Damon, I think we got that little outro thing here.
Yeah, you ready? Let's go.
Yeah.